It's Tuesday at 12 o'clock, and this is Aperture and Shutter Speed, the photography radio show where you can learn and share your love for photography. I'm your host, Chelsea Williams. I'm a professional portrait photographer in Conroe, Texas. If you have any comments on the show during the show, you can comment on Aperture and Shutter Speed's Facebook page. Today, I really briefly want to talk about some of the classes that I did at Summerfest last week. I had a great interviews last week at Summerfest, live from Summerfest. I talked to Mark McCall, Francie Balthazar, and Bree Adams, but I had so many other things that I didn't get a chance to talk about. I just want to briefly cover that. And I also have my friend Katelyn here, who is a photography hobbyist, and we're just going to talk about a few things. So thanks for being here, Katelyn.
Thanks for having me, Chelsea.
Okay, before we get into all that, I just have a couple of announcements of workshops and things going on in the area for anybody who's interested. The Woodlands Camera Club, July 6th, is having a camera club meeting 7 to 9 with guest speaker Ken Frederick and Jimmy Hemphill. On July 12th, it's the Composition Fine Art of Seeing class. You can check all that out on the woodlandscameraclub.org. And then the Woodlands Photography Club, actually, I think this is going to be the best meeting of the year. July 11th, I am going to be the guest speaker. So if you want to hear more about portrait photography and all that stuff, it's going to be July 11th at 6:45. So more information on woodlandsphoto.org. July 7th at the Conroe Art League, Ed Gorman will be there to help you learn all your camera gear, anything. If you have a brand new camera and you just need some help with it, Ed Gorman will be there. He's there every first Thursday, 11 to 4 at the Conroe Art League, so check that out. So I got to get to the question I always ask, which is what kind of pictures have you been taking lately? So go online and show us. I'm sure many of you have 4th of July pictures that you want to post. You got to have some firework pictures, definitely. So be sure to post and share those on Aperture and Shutter Speed's Facebook page. So how about you, Katelyn? What kind of pictures have you been taking?
Well, I took a lot of pictures of my daughter over the 4th, hanging out with the family, and also been taking a lot of aerial photos from our airplane.
Yeah, because you and your husband have an airplane.
Yes.
Michael's a pilot, and you're working on getting your pilot's license,
yes.
right?
Yes, I am.
That's got to be so much fun, and I am in the process of bribing y'all to take me up.
And we will. We will take you up. It'll be fun.
It'll be fun, yeah. So, when you're in the airplane, do you actually use a camera, or do you shoot most of them with your phone?
Both. It depends. I have a Nikon camera, and I absolutely love it. But sometimes my phone's nice because of the quick ability to add fancy filters and make it look really pretty.
I see Michael's aerial pictures all the time, and I always have to ask myself if he took those while he was flying, if that's a safety issue.
He does take them while he's flying. Sometimes, though, sometimes it's me taking the pictures with his phone. Any video is usually me or someone else in the plane taking the video while he's landing the plane.
Right. I love seeing it, though. It's beautiful. The pictures he did over Florida the other day was just gorgeous.
Yes.
So,
when you go up, you'll have to go take pictures over Lake Conroe at sunset.
Oh, definitely.
It's pretty nice.
Definitely. So everybody should be watching out on Facebook because I will be posting those pictures.
Yes.
I can't wait. So me personally, let's see, I shot a crazy huge family reunion about a week ago, and that was interesting. There was over 60 people there. Some of them even came in from Canada.
Wow.
And on the Friday night, they had a formal banquet, and I did smaller family portraits. On a background lighting, did portraits, and then the next day they had a picnic, and I did candids during the picnic, and then I've done a few headshots this week, and I don't know, just lots of different things, keeping myself busy, and of course, always taking pictures of the kids. So if you want to post any pictures that you have of the 4th, and then stick right with us, and we'll be right back on Aperture and Shutter Speed. We're going to talk about a few things from Summerfest, and then we're going to talk about everything Katelyn likes to take pictures of.
Yay!
Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station, and we are looking for talk show hosts and volunteer DJs for our music shows. Are you interested in having your own talk show on Lone Star, or have you always wanted to live out your dreams of being a music DJ? With the addition of Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1 and video aspects of our talk shows, we are needing people to grow with us. If you or someone you know might be interested, please contact us online at irlonestar.com/contact us, or call the station at 936-647-5747 for more information.
Welcome back to Aperture and Shutter Speed on irlonestar.com. I'm here with my friend Katelyn.
Hello.
She is a photographer hobbyist. She just likes taking pictures for fun. And we have fun together, taking different kinds of pictures. We'll talk about that pretty soon. I just wanted to touch base on some of the classes that I took at Summerfest last week that I didn't get to talk about at Summerfest. There was just way too much going on. So some of the things I didn't get to talk about at Summerfest, which was TPPA Summerfest, which is Texas Professional Photography Association. I had some great interviews. One thing I didn't get to talk about is I took the Portrait Photographer's Guide to Commercial Photography with Chris Duncan out of Lubbock. And, I'm not really a commercial photography person, but he gave some really easy tips that would just help and are kind of easy to remember. One of the tips he gave was, if you're lighting any kind of wine or bottle or anything, make sure to backlight it just to give it some depth. And, of course, you have to light the label and stuff like that, too. But it was really just how different lighting is in commercial photography than portrait photography. We don't necessarily think about backlighting things. So I love that about his commercial photography class. I also took creative senior photography with Dominique, Harmon, and Barry Nelson. They're out of Lubbock. Actually, there were several instructors at the school that were from Lubbock. What I liked about their class is they showed pictures of their studio, and they kind of have an outside kind of barnyard cubicle thing going on. I know that's hard to imagine, but it's like it was just like 3 walls on the outside where they had different sets on each wall, and then the front was open, and it gave them wind block because obviously in the Panhandle there's tons and tons of wind, and it just looked really neat how they had their studio set up. So I'm thinking, I grew up in Amarillo. I'm in the Panhandle a lot. Next time I'm in Lubbock, I'm gonna go by their studio and check it out. Maybe they have pictures on Facebook. I don't know. So look up Dominique, Harmon, and Barry Nelson. They had some amazing senior work, and it looked really, really awesome. Honestly, I gotta say, my favorite class of the whole week was Gary Hughes' Confessions of a Headshot Photographer. Now, that may sound a little bit boring to some people, but personally, I am a headshot photographer, and that's why I loved this presentation. It was practical applications. He broke things down very simple, to the point. Gary's out of Orlando, and, he just talked about kind of the differences he does when people come into the studio and do one-on-one shoots, and then if he does, a trade event or something, and he's doing, 500 people in one day. I would definitely suggest you look up Gary Hughes online, Google him, look at some of his work. He's done headshots for a lot of famous actors. So I kind of want to go to Orlando and go to his studio and just kind of hopefully learn a few things. I don't know. Maybe cyberstalk him. Maybe. Just a little bit. We'll see how that goes. I also took The Artist Within with Kimberly Smith. I thought her class was most surprising because she did not really teach at all how she does what she does. She's very, very talented. She does a lot of beautiful, amazing paintings. But her class was really about inspiration, how she finds inspiration. She gave us an exercise in class to close our eyes and keep our eyes closed. She played a classical music song, and she instructed us just to keep, a blank mind and just kind of watch whatever movie your mind plays for you to go along with that music. The music she played, I saw a close-in on a piano with my daughter playing the piano, and then as it panned out, could see her getting older, and then it was like a slideshow in my mind of her getting older. And no joke, by the end of the song, I literally had tears in my eyes. Literally. And so I just thought it was an amazing way to help people find inspiration just for, even if you don't do paintings or stuff like that for your business, just for personal projects, because I definitely walked away with some ideas for personal projects I want to work on. And I'm hoping no other instructor does something like that, because it's rather embarrassing to start crying in class. Anyway, so that's just a little wrap up of all the fun I had at TPBA Summerfest. And if you missed out on those interviews, be sure to check it out on irlonestar.com. Okay, so I always talk so much about the professional side of things and, super serious and how to get merits and all that stuff. Not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody wants to go to workshops. They just do it for fun, and that's why I have my friend Katelyn here. So I know I've asked Katelyn before if she would go to Texas school with me, and she was like, no, I just want to take pictures of my daughter and leave me alone. But also Katelyn and I, we've had a lot of fun with photography together. A couple of years ago, we did a macro photography shoot-off. It was very intense.
It was.
Each one of us would take macro pictures of things that we liked and post them. And then when one of us posted something really good, the other person would get kind of upset.
Yeah.
And we'd go out and take something we thought was maybe a little bit better and we'd post them.
Yeah.
And that went on for a little while.
It's really hard to do when you're doing it against a professional photographer, but yes.
I have to admit, I pulled lighting out for some of them.
Oh my God.
I
didn't know that was an option.
On some of my tulips, I staged them and lit them so that I could get amazing macros.
Wow. And there I am with a bed sheet trying to get the lighting in my house to be just right. Nice. There's a reason you won. That's
come on.
Yeah.
But that's just it. A lot of people just want to have fun with it, and it's just, a fun hobby, and maybe you don't want to be super serious about it, but so there's a lot of fun things you can do, and we had a good time just showing off for fun things, and Katelyn actually got a lot of really cool pictures of spiders and stuff. I did,
yeah.
So, I've never done that.
Well, okay, so I work from home, as you know.
Yeah.
And there's a spider that literally lives in the window in the office, and I see it all the time, and it just hangs out. And I one day decided, I was like, I'm going to get my lens, put it on my camera, and got down and dirty with this poor little spider that was probably terrified of what I was doing, trying to get its picture.
I think the difference is if I saw a spider living in the windowsill, I would have just killed it. But you got amazing pictures.
It had a mustache. That was what was so funny, though.
How did you notice that before you got a macro?
I didn't.
I was going to say, did you notice the spider's mustache before you got a macro?
No, I didn't. Not until I got down on the floor and was like, hello, spider. I'm going to take your picture. Please don't jump on me.
Oh, wow. Yeah. No, I definitely would have just killed it. Although there are some little snakes that are living outside my garage right now, and they don't bother me. I don't mind them at all. And I want to get my macro lens out and go out there and get some cool pictures of them.
You could just come next door and get some pictures of
Yes. Katelyn has several snakes.
They're my husband's. They're not mine.
Sure. Nobody's buying that. But they're really cool snakes, and I definitely want to go over there and get some pictures. And I don't know, I just want to get the macro so you can see, up close on the tongue and everything. Mm-hmm. So those are the for fun. There's no reason for it. I'm not going to sell that to a magazine. I don't know. Maybe
you might.
I might.
You might.
National Geographic maybe knocking on my door.
They could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe just a magazine that sells snakes.
Yes. Do they have that?
I'm sure they do.
Probably.
You know, there's a book called The Photographer's Market, and they make it every year, and they have all the listings of publications. And so we could look in there and see if there's a magazine that caters just to, like, selling snakes and stuff.
Do it.
Yeah. That's a personal project now.
Ooh.
So what else do you like to take pictures of? You take pictures of your daughter, you take aerial pictures.
I like taking pictures using my Nikon to do action shots of our dogs. We have 2 chocolate labs, and I love taking pictures of them when they're like running, and they like to jump and play and catch frisbees, and I like taking pictures of them when they're jumping in the air. And I just think it's funny when they're midair, it's just kind of one of those silly little, they just look goofy.
Yeah. Well, you know, my brain always goes back to, like, that's a great way to learn. But it is, because when I was learning, it was like you take motion shots and you change your shutter and everything to say, okay, this one, they look completely still. I'm going to change my shutter a little bit if I want to get movement. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, that's actually a pretty cool thing to take pictures of.
Yeah, and then, 2 years ago, I challenged myself, personal photo project, to do, I don't even know what it's called. We wrote 2014 on New Year's with sparklers.
Yeah.
And what is that called?
I don't know. You got to have a really long shutter.
The long shutter, and I actually was able to capture it thanks to Pinterest. I found out how to adjust the shutter speed on my camera to be able to do it, and we actually got a really good picture of it. But that was my personal project, and if you asked me to do it today, though, I probably couldn't.
Yeah, you gotta have a tripod. Did you use a tripod?
We did use a tripod.
Yeah, you gotta have a tripod.
And,
really long shutter.
You having to explain to somebody to draw the number to themselves backwards so that it's right to the camera is a very complex process.
Yeah.
Because some people are not quick enough to understand to write a 2 backwards and how to do it with a sparkler.
With a sparkler. Yeah.
With a sparkler and not burn yourself.
Yeah. That's funny. When I was in college, when I would get bored, I would sit in my apartment and I would put a really long shutter, and I would sit down in one place, like maybe in front of the TV or something, and then really quickly move to another place and do something else, and then sit there for a minute, and then I'd move again. So I have these pictures where it's like ghosting of in like 3 different places. So you could kind of see what I was doing, but it looked really creepy. And it was always at night because I was always up at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
So you were like the Flash.
Yeah. But, yeah, I always liked those pictures. They were fun. Of course, I never did anything with them, but, you know, when you're bored in college, it's just ways to entertain yourself.
That's the way you do it in college.
It's the way you do it. Oh my gosh, I did so many crazy, just for fun photography projects in college. I remember one time, I literally covered my entire bathroom in newspaper.
Okay.
And I also used newspaper as like a costume, so I would blend in. And
you camouflage yourself in newspaper.
And then you could like see my face. And at the time, in all fairness, at the time I was in this art group and I was trying to connect with like the inner artist. I got one good shot out of that, I think. And actually, the art group I was in had an auction and somebody bought that. Somebody literally bought that. I printed it as like a 16 by 20, I think, and it sold for like $40. So
what?
I don't think I made any money on it, but just the fact that somebody would want it was kind of interesting.
Somebody wanted a picture of you in newspaper.
Me wrapped in newspaper in my bathroom, wrapped in newspaper.
Yeah. See, in college, I took photography. And I know the people that are watching can't see me scrolling through my phone trying to find this picture. But I had a project we had to do a photo series. And so what I did was I had bought at the dollar store a yard gnome and decided to name it Norm. And it was Norm the Traveling Gnome. So I went to Sam Houston, and I know you did too. So I actually went around with the gnome and took pictures of this gnome traveling around Huntsville.
That's funny.
And that was my big thing of projects, because when you're bored in Huntsville, and if you've never been to Huntsville, you can understand why. It's just kind of one of those towns that you get really bored.
Yeah, and back when we went to college,
There was nothing
there was nothing there. So when you're bored, you have to entertain yourself.
That's why I went to the prison museum with him and took pictures of him in front of...
Oh my goodness. You're going to have to share those because that's hysterical. Okay, here's my question. Did you do that before or after Travelocity?
Before.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I bought it for $1 and it used to sit on my porch. And I'm not saying I was or wasn't intoxicated when I bought the thing, but I was, whenever I had to do the project, I waited till the last minute and I was like, I'm just going to take the gnome around and take pictures of it everywhere. And that was my project and I got an A.
Yeah. One time I was in school and it was supposed to be a passing of time project, like show several images that show passing of time. So a lot of people in my class went and took a picture of a building in the morning. They took a picture of the building in the afternoon, evening, and at night. Well, of course, I had waited till the last minute, and I didn't have time to show the passing of time. So I literally took an orange and put it on a black sheet and took one picture, and I would peel it a little bit and take another picture, peel it a little bit, take another picture, peel it a little bit. I had like 20 of these images, and I matted them. My professor loved that project more than anybody else's, and he raved about it. And I was just like, yes, laziness has gotten me to the finish line.
But that sounds cool.
Yeah, it turned out cool, and everybody else was just looking at me like, what the heck?
And then that professor probably thought you spent like weeks coming up with and preparing for that one photo project.
And you know what? I didn't have to go look at a building 6 different times a day.
Yeah.
So
you got to do it from the comfort of your home.
Comfort of my home. Awesome there. Okay, stick with us. We are going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit more about photography and just doing it for fun. So we'll be right back on Aperture and Shutter Speed.
I know you know this already, but most of the shows on Lone Star Community Radio are available in podcast format. If you want to keep up with the latest shows, just subscribe to our YouTube channel, Lone Star Community Radio, and our website at irlonestar.com. You can even follow us on Soundcloud and Twitter to see the latest posts from Lone Star Community Radio. Can't find a show? Then just search for it on irlonestar.com in the search bar to the top right of every page. Or just contact us on irlonestar.com/contact us with your questions, demands, sponsorships, anything. Lone Star Community Radio is your Montgomery County community radio station.
Welcome back to Aperture and Shutter Speed. I am Chelsea Williams, and I'm here with my friend Katelyn. She is a photographer hobbyist and does it for fun. And before the break, I talked a little bit about Summerfest from last week, and we talked about crazy photography things that we did in college. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Those photographers in college, they're just wild.
Yes.
Just wild. So earlier you said that you do have a Nikon camera, which is good because I'm also a Nikon person.
I will only ever have a Nikon.
I don't know about that. I'm considering not going to Canon, but I'm considering some other options lately.
No, my parents have always had Nikons, and I guess it's just my brand.
Your brand.
Nikon. I'm a brandist, so I'm going to stick with my Nikons.
Yeah. I have Nikon, and I love it because I have so many lenses. When I go to a different body, I always love my lenses. So I know you have a macro, because we did the macro shoot-off.
Yes.
What else do you have?
I have a long distance
telephoto.
See, I'm hobbyist. I don't know these things. I just have the fancy lenses. I do have the normal lens that came with it, which I think is like a 50 to 300 meter lens. Doesn't do anything fancy. I do have the UV lenses filters for everything, so that the pictures don't look quite so blown out in case it's really bright out.
Yeah.
And I always use my sunshade. because it helps. Because it's one of those things I learned in college was important. So, yeah. So I just have the 3 basic lenses. I mean, the macro is my favorite because it catches some amazing detail. If you don't have a macro, get one because they're awesome.
Yeah.
I have used your camera before because we did the Christmas portraits.
Oh, yeah.
And I did. You took my pictures with my family, and I took them of your family. So I have used your fancy portrait lens, and that thing is amazing.
Yes, it is.
I know.
I would not trade it for anything.
I wouldn't think so.
No, to me, upgrading bodies and stuff, no big deal. But my lenses are most important.
Yeah.
That's why when I'm out in public and people are like, "Wow, what kind of camera is that?" And I'm like, "Who cares about the body? Did you check out this lens? I got this sweet lens." Yeah, I'm kind of a photo dork a little bit.
It's kind of your job, though.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah. So I'm glad we're on the same Nikon side.
Yeah, because then we'd have to do the debate, and I could never use a Canon. I had a Canon. Now it was a Canon Coolpix little camera, so it wasn't anything fancy in college. But that's why. I mean, now when I had it, it never quite captured pictures the way I intended for them to be. So that's why I went. Now I've got the Nikon 5200. The DSLR, I love that thing. And I did buy it because of having a child and love what it does. But I do still use my cell phone a lot. And I have an iPhone. I have the 6 Plus.
Hey, there's no shame in that. I have the 6 Plus. I use it all the time for the kids because you're not going to pull out your massive camera just to get some goofy look on their face when they have food on their face. Yeah. That doesn't need to be blown up to a 16 by 20. You just want to capture the moment.
Yeah, of course.
I have tons of pictures on my iPhone.
Yeah, and when we fly, like when my husband and I go flying, and our daughter flies, I bring my Nikon, and I do have my phone, and depending on the type of, like, how the light is outside will kind of depend on what I use. But depending, if I'm just taking goofy selfies and stuff, I always just use my phone.
Yeah. I do that when John and I went on vacation. I had my awesome camera with my awesome lenses, and I was taking like really amazing shots of, everything environmental going on. And then I'd whip out my cell phone and be like, selfie. Yeah. And so there's a time and a place for everything. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's fun. So, you took photography in college.
Yes.
You did not get a degree in it, like some people like me.
I have a degree in radio television.
Okay.
And in production. So took videography. Lots of video learning lessons. I can use a video camera, like it's nobody's business.
Well, you're one step better than me then, because I did not take any video classes in college.
You didn't miss out.
Maybe we could team up, and I'll do pictures and you could do video.
I could, except for all my video that I do personally, I use my Nikon. So you'd probably know how to do it already.
Yeah. No, most things I go to, like that family reunion I went to, I did all the pictures, but there was a videographer there, and he was using a camera just like mine. Mm-hmm. And he put it on a tripod and sat down and sat on his butt the whole time. And it cracked me up. I was just like, dude, I could have set up a second camera and just run them both.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny because, like, I remember as a kid playing, like, soccer as, like, with a team, and my dad out there with the huge video camera.
Oh, yeah.
With the little side battery pack. And then my mom would be out there with her 35mm Nikon camera. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So now I'm looking at it going, okay, so if I would have, and now my child, she's under 2, so she doesn't play soccer or anything. But like if she did, I'd be like, okay, so if I was one of those people, I'd be like, okay, video camera, have to have that, have to have my cell phone, have to have my camera. But instead I'm just like, I'll just use my regular camera. Or for a quick video, I can use my phone.
Yeah.
It's so much more convenient.
Yeah. But I totally remember those huge camcorders. My dad would pull them out every Christmas. And my dad liked to take, he liked to set up sets, like build sets and make little movies.
Oh my gosh.
And I distinctly remember even him buying the like fake blood tablets so that we could make like some kind of horror movie in our shop in the back. And he just liked it, but he had that massively huge video camera that took VHS tapes.
Oh yeah, the whole VHS tape versus now they just use a little SD card.
Yeah.
My parents still have their video camera. My dad refuses to let go of it because he says
it's nostalgic.
It is a piece of history.
It's a piece of history, and who knows? In a few years, that baby might be worth something.
It could be.
Yeah, hold on to that. Don't let that go.
You should let it go. The 35mm camera I get because I'm like, yeah, that's cool because it's, finding the film is the hard part.
Right.
But I'll stick with my digital.
That's funny. Well, I don't know. That's cool. Can you give us one video tip? Do you know any video tips?
Honestly, the best thing to tell anyone if you're just doing it for fun, no big deal. But if you're trying to do like a show or a little mini movie, white balance is always important because if you don't, when you're transitioning from light to dark, it'll really throw off the whole the shot.
Yeah.
And then you have to reset, and it's a pain. So white balance, in my opinion, is very important when it comes to videotape.
That's a good tip for photographers and videographers.
It is.
The more you know. Okay, so these days when you're taking pictures of your daughter and your labs and an airplane, what do you do with those pictures?
Most of them go on Facebook or Instagram. I am one of those parents that I created my daughter an Instagram account.
Yeah?
She is 20 months in a couple days and is obsessed with airplanes. So I made her own Instagram page about basically pictures of her with airplanes, with our plane, with our friends' planes, and it's the Aviator Kid, but with an 8, if anyone's interested. And it's really cool, though, because she, with Instagram, as long as you use the right hashtags, if you're trying to get followers, you can get so many followers. And she actually has 4 different Red Bull Air Race pilots that follow her on Instagram.
Wow.
And I was like, that's the coolest thing ever. I mean, she's a toddler, so it's not like she realizes how cool that is, but I'm like, dude, I don't even know these people.
By the time she's 18, she's going to have a huge following.
That would be so cool. But it's nice because then, my parents, when I was a kid, printed out everything, and they're in photo albums, and I can't tell you how many pictures they have that are just in shoeboxes that they never put in albums.
Yeah.
And at least this way, my daughter's pictures are all on Facebook under an album and also on Instagram, so she can just be like, oh, check this out when she's older, and she'll be like, look, everything, literally her life is going to be completely on Facebook, which, that's just the way it is nowadays versus having to go, hey, Mom, do you remember that one time that we did this thing and you took a couple pictures? Do you know where those pictures are? And I'm going to be like, well, yes, I do, because they're on Facebook. Just type in what you want to look for.
Okay, I have to stop you right there just for a second. I think digitals are great, but what happens if Facebook just has a complete collapse? It doesn't exist anymore. What do you do with all your pictures? Do you have a backup?
There will be turmoil. I do. I have pictures of my daughter that I think are super awesome and she's really cute. I print. And as you know, because you take pictures of my daughter for me, and I always print out, my favorites, and I put them in frames, and I also, this sounds so funny, my mom did it, so I always do it, which is I stack the pictures behind the same frame.
Yes.
So it's like a weird chronological order of the progression of her growing up, and I do have a lot, 90% of the pictures are on the cloud. So if ever the world, has no power, I'm so screwed on pictures. But that's okay because I have some printed. I do have a couple of albums made for her, but otherwise I'm one of the digital people.
See, I do digital too, and I have all my digital of all my sessions ever. Like I can go back 10 years on my sessions, and I organize them by year, month, and then the client name, or if it's ours, I do, personal pictures or something. So I do. I have even like had somebody call me. They'd be like, "Hey, remember when you did our wedding 5 years ago? Can you?" And it's pretty easy for me to pull up because I have everything super organized, and then I just have to have them on like 2 different hard drives just in case there's a failure
of one.
Yeah,
the backup. Yeah.
But I don't know. You're talking about your daughter, and she's been 20 months, and me taking pictures of her. I have to brag to everybody for a little bit. Just a minute. We did the cutest photo shoot for them around Valentine's Day.
Yes, we did.
It was adorable. I have a son, Max. I'm sure everybody that listens knows about Max. Mm-hmm. He just turned 2, and Olivia's not quite 2. So she brought Olivia over, and I put Max in a little suit, and I had I had a rose, and we took pictures of Max handing Olivia a rose, and it was
adorable.
The most adorable thing. And if you've ever seen those Kim Anderson posters or Kim Anderson like statues or anything, it looked just like that, and it was the most adorable thing.
It was, and Max is adorable.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I'm very lucky that I have amazing models to work with.
Yeah, you are
gorgeous models.
If only we could get Olivia to stay in a good mood for the whole shoot, it would have gone a lot better.
You know what? She's just getting ready because girls have to be divas.
That's why we call her O Diva, since her name is Olivia.
Okay, I haven't earned that one before. Oh. That was good.
Yeah, she's a little diva. That is for sure.
That's too funny. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we'll try to get it together here, and we're going to take a little bit of break. And when we get back, we'll talk a little bit more. You're listening to Aperture and Shutter Speed.
We're starting to film our talk shows and putting them on YouTube. Your favorite Lone Star Community Radio show can be seen on YouTube under our Lone Star Community Radio channel and on City of Conroe's Our City TV channel on Suddenlink Channel 12. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see the most recently released videos and find more information online at irlonestar.com/TV.
Welcome back to Aperture and Shutter Speed. This is the photography radio show, and I'm here with my friend Katelyn, and we are talking photography. I'm your host, Chelsea Williams. Before the break, we were getting a little goofy, but we're talking about what kind of lenses Katelyn uses and kind of just fun things to take pictures of and all sorts of things. So I've got a few more things I just want to talk about today. So I asked Katelyn during the break, I said, what's the best place you think to take pictures right now? Because I'm thinking, the pool. You could take pictures in the pool. Maybe there's some cool building to take pictures of right now. And she just told me inside because it's hot.
Because it's too hot.
It's too hot to be outside. Yeah. No, that's a...
If I had a pool, though, I'd say totally go by the pool. But I don't have a pool.
So I guess that's Katelyn's tip of the day. Just stay inside, take your pictures in there, work on your indoor lighting.
Yes, exactly.
You can get natural light indoors.
Oh, yeah.
You just have to work around your windows and reflectors and things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have reflectors?
I don't, but I do have in our living room excellent natural light. So, and also in Olivia's room whenever my daughter gets goofy and I take lots of pictures of her being just silly. And her favorite thing, though, is Snapchat. So she's a big fan of Snapchat and their filters.
Okay, wait a minute. Your daughter is not yet 2, and she's a big fan of Snapchat.
Yes. She likes the faces that I can put on her face, and she makes them... That's like she'll open her mouth so that the tongue comes out like the dog and the cat, and she'll meow when the cat's on.
Oh, how funny!
And but yes, if I hold up my phone and I show it like the front of the phone to her, she will start making faces at herself if I have the camera on or if it's on Snapchat. And yes, that's right.
That's funny.
My toddler knows how to use Snapchat.
I don't have Snapchat. I've never used it. And for a while, looking at Facebook pictures just in my newsfeed, I was like, why does everybody have these little flower headbands in their pictures? And it took me a long time to realize it was a Snapchat thing.
Oh, Yes.
Yeah.
This
Olivia loves the Snapchat, I guess. I saw a video somebody posted on Facebook of a guy using Snapchat, and the first, I guess, filter or picture he had on looked like drag makeup. And I was like, this dude is wearing drag. And then he changed it to cat makeup or something. But the very first thing, I was like, he really has drag makeup on.
Okay, no, and I realize that people can't see this. Snapchat has fancy makeup ones.
That's amazing.
And I mean, in this picture, I was wearing makeup. I don't normally wear makeup, but this one, I'm not wearing makeup.
Right?
And I look amazing. And I can't tell you how often I've used this Snapchat filter as my Facebook picture because I look so hot.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's, I mean...
So these are photography tips for people that just like to have fun.
Yeah,
and
well,
Snapchat.
And also if you're... Okay, so if you just take pictures with your phone, a great app for doing like photo editing on your phone, the one that I use is called Snapseed. It's a free app. And I love it for... I mean, I can change the lighting... I can put blur on the outside and make it fancy.
So you're one of those that don't care so much about the quality of the picture to start out with. You'll just change it in the app.
Maybe. I can't even tell you how many hours I've spent on Photoshop at home, doing photo editing, video editing, and I do enjoy the convenience of being able to do it quickly on my phone.
Yeah.
Another good app that people really might like is called Rotate and Flip. If you're ever making a video and you can't, and your phone doesn't flip the video, it'll flip the video for you so that it's the right way if you send it to people. And that's a big one.
My husband was asking me about that yesterday, how to flip a video, and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's called Rotate and Flip. It's another free app.
Another free app. The only, I've heard of a lot of really great apps for your phone. The only one I'm using right now is the Photoshop Express. It's free, and I like to go in there and use the blemish tool because I want to take a quick selfie. I want to get rid of my blemishes and look like I look amazing.
What is it called? I'm downloading it right now.
It's Photoshop Express. Okay. And I like it because I'm extremely familiar with Photoshop.
Yeah.
And I kind of understand how everything works already. I love it because then you're like, oh, I'm going to get rid of all this stuff. And also you can use the blemish tool. Like if you're taking a picture and there's a tricycle or trash in your backyard you don't want to see, you just clean it all out really quickly.
Yeah, Snapseed doesn't let you quite edit. I mean, I can adjust. I mean, I can add filters and make it fancy and pretty. And I do a lot of that. I mean, and I do, like I said, I do a lot of Instagram. So it's nice because Instagram does have a little bit of photo edit, but it kind of gives it that little extra... push of drama.
Okay, I gotta tell you, I signed up for Instagram recently. I think maybe I signed up for one like 7 years ago and abandoned it. I don't know how long Instagram's been out. But I put one for my business recently, maybe 2 weeks ago. And I have like 5 images up there right now. That's it, 5. And somebody liked a picture that I did last week, and I was like, cool, somebody liked my picture. I pulled it up. I have 47 followers.
You mean your Chelsea Williams Photography?
Yes.
I follow you on Instagram.
I pulled that up, and I was like, how the heck? Why are these people following me? Well, and it just amazed me that I have 5 pictures up there, and I already had like 47 followers, and I was like, thank you. I'll follow all y'all back. Thank you.
And if you want to do, like I said, if you want to do a really good way to get a good Instagram following is to use hashtags. And a really popular one is follow me, follow you, meaning you'll follow them if they follow you.
Oh.
And just using hashtag Instagram is also another really good one.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta get better with my social media. I'm
new to I've been on Instagram for a while, but I've been new to the trying to get followers, and that is the Forbes actually released the article about different ways to get people to follow you.
Well,
And that was
yeah.
one of them.
To me, I've got mixed feelings because I want it out there. I want to, promote my business and stuff, and I want to show things that I'm doing. Really, I'm trying to do it where Instagram's showing like the behind the scenes thing, and Facebook's showing my finished images of like perfect, beautiful images. So the other day I took a picture of myself loading my car up after a photo shoot, and I want to do that, but at the same time, I hate unedited pictures of myself. So it's like, I'm so used to like, okay, going home, taking an amazing picture, amazing lighting, I'm going to edit it, and then I'll post it. Whereas Instagram's like, wherever you are, take the picture. It's going to be, junk lighting.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. So it's total mixed feelings about having just my raw picture out there. Of course, I'll still do a little bit Photoshop Express.
The best thing for bad lighting, black and white. It fixes everything.
It's with everything.
It does. It's the quick fix.
Yeah. I don't know. So if you're listening, definitely like Chelsea Williams Photography on Facebook and find me on Instagram because I have 5 pictures up. Maybe I'll have 6 tomorrow. Who knows?
I think you're going to have another one tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, we should Instagram us doing the show sometime. Maybe not today because we're having too much fun.
We are having too much fun.
But, yeah. Anyway. So, one other thing I wanted to say before we wrap up is the other day I went over to Hancock Fabrics. I don't know if everybody knows this, but all the Hancock Fabrics are closing. Mm-hmm. And I've been kind of watching. They've had closing signs up for a while, but I've been kind of watching. I went in the other day, and there was huge lines. It took me like an hour to check out. But I found all kinds of amazing fabrics to use for photo shoots. And I went over to the upholstery section. And the upholstery fabric is on bolts, like long bolts. They're usually about 5 to 6 feet wide. And so if you buy everything that's on the bolt, you can keep it on there and just roll it out and roll it back up like it's a background.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was literally 80% off.
Oh, wow.
And I got some really nice brown vinyl that looked like leather. Uh-huh. And I got all kinds of really unique fabrics and textures and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited to use them for some photo shoots. And then I just got some funky stuff that maybe I'm going to try some brightly colored stuff for seniors. And then I got some really good earth tones for my newborn shoots and stuff. But if you like to do all that stuff with a lot of fabrics, go buy Hancock Fabrics before they close and load up, because this is definitely the time to do that.
Yeah, not everyone's lucky enough to have a neighbor that has all this stuff already.
Yeah. Katelyn doesn't go out and buy it. She just comes and asks me for it, and I'm happy to oblige.
I bribe with baked goods.
Yes. I'm easy to bribe, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, and I've heard a lot of other professional photographers, when you say, "Oh, that's amazing, where'd you get that?" They'll be like, "Joann's Fabrics, Hobby Lobby." One of the instructors last week had an image and print competition, and everybody was talking about what different kinds of matting to use because presentation is counted in print competition. She was like, "Well, I went over to Michael's," and it just cracked me up because you don't think about people doing that, but everybody does what's convenient and what works for you, and especially if you can find a good deal on something. So I don't know, that was awesome. I don't know, I love using fabrics and stuff, but you can definitely come over and use them for Olivia anytime you need.
I will. Don't worry.
I don't know. I think that's about it. We're wrapping it up here. If anybody has any questions specifically you want to ask, whether you're a professional or a hobbyist and you just do it for fun, give us a shout out on Facebook. Find us Aperture and Shutter Speed on Facebook. And check out our other shows on ourlonestar.com. Definitely, if you missed the show last week where I interviewed everybody at Summerfest, pull that up on Our Lone Star. And if you like this show, be sure to set a notification to listen to it every week. We're on every week at 12 o'clock. So keep on listening and keep on shooting on Aperture and Shutter Speed.
Thanks for checking out this production on Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's radio station. For more information on this show and other shows on Lone Star, check us out online at irlonestar.com. If you're interested in sponsoring a program on Lone Star Community Radio and reaching the local audience of Montgomery County on FM, internet, and TV media, please call 936-647-5747 or contact us online at irlonestar.com. This recording is a Lone Star Community Radio production, produced by the show host and Dick Schisler of Lone Star Community Radio. Interested in volunteering as a music DJ or starting your own talk show? Contact Dick Schisler at dick@irlonestar.com or by phone at 936-647-5747.